Gang, I want to warn you about a threat that is coming to you from the cloud. Now, you may be thinking, are we talking software as a service or infrastructure as a service? Neither of those. When I say cloud, I mean cloud that's full of potential lightning. Zot! That's bad news for any network. You don't want to have your devices have to be thrown away because they got hit by lightning. But that could happen. And lightning strikes happen all the time, and they damage equipment. Now, you're probably familiar with surge protectors and UPSs and other things that we use to manage power and to be able to deal with those. But think about it. You've got an antenna. You've practically, like I said, taken your golf club and stuck it up in the air in the middle of a thunderstorm. That's no bueno. What are you going to do about that? Well, one of the things you can do is implement a lightning arrestor. This is a very simple device that hooks up in between the antenna and your RF device, your access point. And it's designed to burn out. Think of like a surge protector will burn out in order to save the electronics behind it. It's exactly what this device is designed to do. Again, it needs to be grounded, and which again is up to you to make sure that it gets grounded to that ground wire gets connected to some ground cable under to the grounding system of your company, whatever is needed there. And that will do a great deal to protect that signal. But keep in mind, even that, it may not protect you in the case of a direct lightning strike. And like I said, if you've got a dish antenna outside of your, that's an outside antenna, that could be very significant. And not just that, when that occurs, I've seen networks that have lost multiple pieces of equipment, even though they were all set up with great power supplies. But the electrical signal from that lightning strike traveled through the Ethernet cable. So again, how do we protect ourselves from that? Well, here we've got our access point, and we've got our bridge connected here, and great, we've grounded our cable. We've done everything we can there. But additionally, what could we add? Well, we have an Ethernet lightning arrestor. All right, and so again, that's this component right there that's being placed out there at that point of contact. Say, okay, in between our, basically right here in between 2 points of our Ethernet cable, let's put this Ethernet lightning arrestor. That'll do the same thing as the wireless one did on the antenna, in that it will burn out rather than deal with that. So this is a lightning arrestor is basically the surge protector now for your Ethernet network. But again, the only way to be foolproof, because these things can burn out, and if there's enough electricity, it'll still just keep on trucking through. I mean, if it's bad enough, it's bad enough, 1.1 gigawatts. So at that point, the only thing that you can really do to protect yourself, gang, is to get off of electricity. If you have in between the especially vulnerable portions of your network that are more likely to receive those lightning strikes and the rest of your network, if you have placed in that in between those areas and the rest of your network a length of fiber optic cable. Now, this is just 1 meter. All you need is 1 meter of fiber optic cable between a couple of fiber copper transceivers that'll go back and forth between these two types of signal. You don't need to implement an entire fiber network. You just need a length of fiber cable so that the electricity stops and can't go any further. So worst case scenario, you've lost that much of your network, but everything over here is still running fine. And so we can, get out to the internet and do everything else we need to do. We've just lost that link. So lightning is scary. We've got lightning arrestors for antenna, Ethernet lightning arrestors, and the only real way to protect the full extent of your network from being hit by lightning from these outside sources is to throw in a length of fiber optic cable surrounded by fiber copper transceivers.